thriving. I really should say aligned and thriving for teachers, but look, this is really at a point now where it's for anybody. And today I'm sharing something powerful, something that recently I got to experience. And I want to share how that experience was with all of you because I love to do that because it's here. I'm here to support you and all of the things. So, what I got to experience was a 9D breathwork session. This was 2 hours of pure me time. No kids, no interruptions, nowhere to be. Just me, my breath, my body, and the journey inwards. And what happened in that space, it's really shifted something inside me. We spoke about the monkey mind, the voice that jumps from thought to thought inside your head, and how the only real reset is to come back to your breath. So I want to take you through what 9D is, the science behind it, and what I learned, and how I'm now committed to making breathwork a part of something that I do, because your breath is medicine. You always have it with you, and you take it everywhere you go. So get yourself comfy, maybe take a few deep breaths with me right now, and then we'll dive in. So to get ourselves organized, I want you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. But if you are driving, probably just concentrate on the breath work that I'm explaining to you and don't take your hands off the wheel. So one hand on heart, hand on belly, or if you're driving, hands on the wheel and focus on your breath. I want you to breathe in through your nose for 4. Okay, a nice deep breath, but focusing on the fact that I want your belly to move out. So it's a big, deep belly breath through your nose. And then sighing out through your mouth. Okay, so again, in through your nose for 4, big, deep belly breath. And then sighing out. It's amazing just how you've always got that with you. So what is 9D breathwork? So at its core, it is a guided, immersive journey that marries breathwork with multi-sensory elements like sound, frequency, vibration, and subconscious programming. So what the 9D stands for is that there's 9 dimensions or 9 layers of experience, from your semantic breathing techniques to binaural beats, isochronic tones, solfeggio, I don't know how to say that one, frequencies, and guided vocal coaching that's like hypnotic and the subliminal elements. Okay, so it's a whole process. And unlike a regular breathwork class, which is still amazing, 9D is engineered for deep nervous system regulation, emotional release, and ultimately rewiring your own subconscious. So that's really going through your RAS, which I've talked to you about before, and focusing on rewiring that deep, 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 deep subconscious. So this session style, so you come in and you are going to lie down. You're going to have headphones on and an eye mask, and then you're following the rhythm of your breath. There will be sounds that are playing and you are guided through the whole journey. It's just like a whole sense of emotion, some sensation, a presence. It's just everything shows up during that time. My session, look, I booked it to try something new. I turned up and I gave myself the space and the time and, of course, an open mind. And what I felt was just amazing. By the end of it, there was just that real sense of freedom, stillness, and just release. My monkey mind, which I now know what that is, it actually slowed down. And I remembered throughout that experience that I am my breath, I am my body, not just my thoughts. So let's talk a little bit about the neurobiology and the physiology, because I love that side of stuff too. But breathwork influences our autonomic nervous system. So the sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, your rest and restore branches. When you breathe deeply and rhythmically, it's going to activate your parasympathetic system, which is your built-in reset button. So 9D, the sound and the frequency layers, they're going to assist in your brainwave, like when the binaural beats or the tones are used, they basically guide your brain into alpha or theta states. So calm, meditative blah, blah, states of mind. Okay. And then the semantic breath work, so breathing to release that tension stored in your body, it helps to unlock any emotional blockages, any stored trauma, any sort of stagnant energy that's sitting in your system at that point in time. There are some crazy experiences that can come from breath work. And that's all explained to you if you're going to a guided session. Physiologically, you're going to have improved oxygenation. I'm trying to say this right and get all my facts right, but you'll get better circulation and more efficient removal of your byproducts. Like your body's going to feel lighter and clearer, and even you'll get that massive reduction in your stress hormone. So your cortisol levels are going to go down. And I 100%, the session that I went to was for stress and anxiety because, I mean, what mum, teacher, busy woman does not have those things in her head? And it was amazing. And I really did feel for the next few days, like I'm a couple of days after now, and I'm still feeling the effects of feeling much calmer and much more relaxed in myself. So your body and your mind, we know that they're connected. And those heavy emotions that still live within your body, 9D aims to speak to that deeper layer. So you're not just thinking your way through life, you're really feeling, releasing, and being. And I am all for that. So in short, you've got your breath, the sound, and the subconscious work, a full reset of your baseline. You will leave completely different than how you went in, but you have to be open to doing that work as well and just let it happen. And as I said at the start, like I went in there with no expectation of what it was and really enjoyed the beats that were going on in the background, the wording that was happening. It was speaking to me because it's just constant and it brings you back. And I can remember laying there and I'm pretty sure I snored at some point because you know that sudden and then you wake up. I was like, oh, was I asleep? But the instructor, amazing. She was explaining lots of stuff at the end because they debrief and make sure you're okay before you leave and check in after. And it was very much like, no, that's you just going deep into your subconscious and you were still there and present, but it's really reprogramming everything that's going on in your brain. I can remember laying there and all these things that are repeating, and it says, you need to be here. You don't need to be anywhere else. You are here. Be in the moment. It keeps bringing you back because it's there. The research is there. They know that this is happening in your brain at the time. So you've just got to be open to letting that happen. And something that really stuck with me, there was a quote that was in there when it was repeating and repeating and repeating, and it stuck. It was 97% of what we worry about doesn't ever happen. Like, let that sink in. 97% of what we worry about, it's never going to actually come to fruition. Like 3% is really small. And when I actually sat there and thought about it, I was like, wow, why am I giving so much juice to those ghost worries that aren't even going to matter? Like, no one's going to care. We worry about so much and it doesn't even matter. And we've got to let that go. And that's what was playing in my head. That 2 hours, like it wasn't a 2-hour session, okay? It takes 2 hours from like the start to the finish, but it was 67 minutes of total breath work. Really deceiving because it felt like about 10, 15 max. You do not feel like you are laying there for that long. But that me time, like that is rare because I was not in a role. I was not a mum. I was not a business person. I was not a podcaster. I was not a teacher. I was just a human and I was breathing. So bringing me back to that monkey mind and how we were jumping from thought to thought and how we're so disconnected from our body, from nature, from just simple rhythms, that's really hit me hard. We talked a lot at the start about how we have gone so far in society from nature, and your breath is with you and it's natural. Like, I know I've talked a lot about grounding, going outside, getting in nature, because it is a natural form of medicine. Your breathing is a natural way to regulate your nervous system. So you don't need medication. If you learn how to use your breath properly, you may not need some of those things to help calm yourself. If you understand what I'm trying to say, we need to get ourselves back into those natural rhythms, because if you think back to the way we used to be, like prior to all these amazing things that we've developed over time as society, amazing humans that we are, we've grown and we've adapted. But you think all the way back, we weren't eating constantly because we would have to hunt and gather our food, and food was scarce. Like, you'd have to go work for that, which then meant you were also exercising and walking and using different muscles and running and breathing that fresh air that wasn't polluted. We were drinking water that came from like springs and that type of thing. So we've come so far, and our bodies are adapting and changing. And so we need to come back to that. And I think breath work is just one of those things that aligns so well with me right now, because I'm trying to bring myself back to that too. I'm already booking into another session, but in the meantime, I want to bring breath work into everything that I do. So in my teaching, in my business, in my morning meditation routine, in my movement practices. This is a really big one. I realize now why instructors, when you're doing your Pilates, they're like, and remember to breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. It is because it is helping your muscles to work. And I'm such a horrible person. Like, I hold my breath when I'm doing things and it's painful. I am now focusing on my breath and going, okay, if the instructor is telling me to breathe, I need to breathe. So I'm focusing on that now too. So that's improved in that aspect. So that's a bonus, a little happy bonus that I wasn't thinking I'd get, but yeah, extra. So how are you going to be able to bring breath work into your life? Because I'm here to help you. Now, you don't have to wait for a session to pop up, though I encourage you, if you see it come up anywhere near you, please go do it. But you can start now doing little things every day. Just start with 3 minutes of conscious breath work when you wake up. Do what we did at the start, like inhale through your nose, make sure it's a big belly breath, and exhale, like sigh it out. Do that a few times. Move your body, get yourself outside, earth yourself, listen to those sounds around you. Walk barefoot if you can and connect to the earth. Okay, I'm sounding like a little bit woo, but that is me, just a little. At sunset or sunrise, be present. Let the natural rhythms remind you of nature. Integrate one longer session each week. So put on the headphones, have a quiet space, admire the magic of guided breath and sound if you can. There are lots of guided ones on YouTube that you can source while you are waiting to get into one that's near you. Use breathwork as a tool when stress or your monkey mind strikes. So stop, lay down or sit and breathe. Focus on your breath and you will shift your nervous system. Box breathing, that's another good one. You know, when you're making the box with your finger, like breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and go again, nice and slow. Doing that will help regulate your nervous system. You can buy 9D audio journeys as well, that you might be able to access if you're interested in doing that too. But I encourage you, if you can get to a physical breathwork session, do it. Okay. Create yourself a breath ritual, some comfortable clothes, space cleared, journal afterwards. And that is something that they encourage you to do at 9D as well, is to journal your experience. And I did that when I got home, so I can refer back to it. Tell your body that you're making space for the new. Okay. And this is aligning with like me being my magnetic vibes, trying to be that high vibe person. You need to take that space. And as you breathe, affirm that you are releasing what no longer serves you and being open to what aligns with you. And again, journal, voice note, what came up, what sensations, what new insights, all of those things. Now, quick little story time. Me as a child, I was always watching and I was always feeling that little bit different. Like, I would do different things to other people. I really enjoyed like watching the wind move leaves in the trees. I would sense energy, but I don't think I could name it up then. I was the child that could set like I know people might refer to it as like people's aura. And I think my mum's very much the same too. Like, she can sense how people are and what their behavior is sort of like just detect a good person, like you have great vibes, that type of thing. I could do that as a child too. The same as there was that weird thing that I could do, which was like sensing when people were pregnant before I think they knew they were pregnant. And as a kid, that's really awkward to walk up to your mum's friends and be like, "Oh, when are you having a baby?" And they're like, "I'm not pregnant." And then they ring the next week going, "How did she know?" But it was just that feeling. I have a deep connection to that type of energy that comes off people. So as I got older, like I got busy, I got roles, I forgot about my internal wiring. But these types of sessions and doing this sort of work, it started bringing me back to remind myself of that kid. I was curious. I was connected to nature. I was tuned in to all of those things because I didn't feel like the world was judging me. I didn't care how I looked or what I wore. I was proud to be who I was. And I would actually refer to myself as an intervegetable. I don't think I could say the word individual. I'm like, I just want to be an indivegetable. And my mum's like, an individual, darling. That's what you're trying to say. But that stuck with me. I just wanted to be, and I couldn't have cared less. But I lost that along, excuse me, I lost that along the way. And I'm starting to find that now, that confidence, that being just myself. And breath work is not just an add on, it's part of the core, I think. It remembers the child, the nature, just the body, all of that sense. So I said before that breath is your medicine. It is one tool that you always carry with you. Unlike the processed food that you don't need to buy, and unlike the gym that you probably don't need a membership to, or the latest app, you don't need a subscription, your breath is free and you've always got it. It's immediate, it's there. So, in a world of busy minds, your breath slowing down can be your soundtrack. It can say, "You are here, you are alive, you are a body, and you are your breath." It connects you to your nervous system, to nature, and to your own rhythm. So every time you're choosing to breathe consciously, you're choosing alignment. You're choosing your true self. And that elevates not just you, but everyone around you and sends off that energy, because those frequencies, they're contagious. And as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, oh, I said that right this time, a mum, a network marketer, like I'm showing up for a lot of people. So when I'm regulated and rested and aligned, I'm showing up better for others. And my breath and what I'm doing is supporting that. So it is magnetic. You do not need to be loud. You just need to be. And your breath and focusing on that invites presence, and presence invites connection. And then connection invites alignment, and alignment invites magnetism. It's just a whole big chain of events. Isn't that amazing? So what if you don't have time to lie down for 2 hours or to take that time? Do a shorter version. It can only take a couple of minutes. Find those ones on YouTube to have a look and get started and do a little bit of work on your breath. Just 10 minutes, then extend a bit longer. Every time you are doing conscious breathing, it counts. And then build on that. Make it happen. Your mind is going to be active. That's normal. Mine was too. But those multi-sensory layers of 9D are going to help control and tame that monkey mind aspect. So start with the headphones, a guided track, and just let the sound guide you. You're going to feel emotions because that's part of the release. Breathe through it. You're going to release years of stored emotion. I felt that. And after your session, like when I went to a proper session, there's lots of feedback that you get throughout the process and check-ins as well. And you do get like a booklet that explains what you need to do to help regulate yourself after. I had a bath with Epsom salts and relaxed and just chilled. I did a yoga session the next day of stretching and just calming things for my body, and then worked my way up throughout the week back to my normal routine, because you are releasing all of that stored emotion. So you need to rest. You need to journal about it. You need to drink yourself lots and lots of water. Make sure if you do go to a session, wear comfortable clothes, because you're going to need to be able to breathe. And if you're wearing restricted items of clothing, like good luck to your breathing. You're not going to wear your Spanx to this session, okay? Just get that through your head. Don't even do that at home. And if you are at home, make yourself comfortable when you're trying to do this. I'm committing to trying to do a bigger session once a week. but doing some daily mini breath rituals as well and trying to listen to my body. Some weeks, an extra session may be what you need, but just again, it's your life, your choice. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just going to do what works for me. If you obviously do have serious respiratory, cardiovascular, or mental health conditions, please check with your GP before you go and do intense breath work. And before I went to my session, that was discussed as well. And set yourself an intention. What do you want to release? What do you want to invite in? And just be guided throughout that process. So, here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to carve out 15 minutes, maybe even just start with 5. Just carve out some time just for you and your breath. Find yourself a space where you can lie down or sit comfortably, put some headphones on, choose a guided track of 9D or some other breath work you might be able to find, and just let yourself notice your body, let whatever wants to move, move. And after your session or your little window of time, write down something that came up for you, like a shift or a feeling. And next week, extend it to a bit longer. Because when you start to prioritize your nervous system, your alignment, your presence, you become magnetic. You're going to be able to walk in your power, lift others by just being you, because your breath is your way to help get yourself into your highest frequency. Okay? That is what I learned from my experience in 9D, and I'm going to go back for more. But to keep the energy going and keep everything high, I will be doing stuff at home as well. So I'm sharing this with you, but it was amazing. So I did mine through All About Tranquil. You can look them up on Facebook, Instagram. I did a story straight after and tagged them in it, so you can see them on my Instagram there too. But it was amazing. There's lots of other recommendations, though, if you look it up. But tag me when you do your breath work because I'd love to hear how you go. But thank you for showing up today. Thank you for breathing with me. And remember that you are powerful. You are limitless. You're magic. So let your breath remind you of that every single day. Every day. Now, if you'd like this episode, please make sure you leave a comment, give me a rating, 1 to 5 stars, you know what I mean? It helps me to keep bringing episodes to you so that we can help everyone else in the world, because that is my aim, to help as many people as I can to not be tired, burnt out types of people. Let's help each other to regulate and be the absolute best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. So if no one's told you today, remember, you are loved, you are amazing, and you are doing such a great job. And I will talk to you again next time. Bye, guys.